So, as some of you out there probably don't know, one of our most favorite people in the universe, none other than Mr. Low here.
Emphasis on that part, most definitely.
Emphasis on that. Yeah. So we like to keep up with his antics, and when you have a favorite person out there on the internet, there's usually a central hub or where you keep up on all your news and your info and your gossip and your drama and whatnot. And one of those such sites, which detailed pretty much everything that you could possibly publicly find out about this man,
hmm
a forum known as Kiwifarms, was recently taken down off the internet, no longer accessible. So all those hundreds and hundreds of pages about Mr. DeLuan Sparrow, aka low tier god, has just been wiped off the internet. And it's possible the site could come back one day under a different provider or a different server host or whatever. But they've been taken down, and the reason they've been taken down is because some trannies have been mad, and that's usually the case whenever there's any kind of censorship on the internet. It's usually because some protected class out there, such as mad trannies, get mad
hmm
and they complain to, you know, well, usually on Twitter they complain to these companies. So they complain to Cloudflare, the hoster of Kiwi Farms, and they've been doing this for over a year because last year, uh, a dude going by the name of Near, uh, who lives in Japan, he sent his friend a suicide note, and he's like, "All right, put this suicide note out for everyone to see on Twitter." And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna kill myself." And the mad trannies accept this as fact, even though to this day there's still no reports. There's no official uh, coronary death count, whatever, in Japan. And this guy, he was from the U.S., so he moved to the U.S. from U.S. to Japan. So Japan would have listed it under American citizens who died in their country. They have like a section just for that. So there's no police report, no listed deaths in over a year. As a matter of fact, the whole American death count for the whole country is 0 for last year. But they're still operating under the pretense that this guy killed himself because there was a thread about him on this forum.
Mm-mm-mm.
Forum you can just, ignore. A thread with very few amount of pages that has been dead for quite some time. So no one's been talking about this guy for some time. And he was like, "If you don't take down my thread, I'm gonna kill myself because I just can't take all the harassment." Um,
Ridiculous.
yeah. And this website, Kiwi Farms, they have rules against actively going against people. Like the whole point of the forum is to just have a laugh about people on the internet amongst other members of the forum. And they weren't even doing that much because the thread has been dead. Um, so the guy, at first I thought he just wanted attention, but it's clear he just wanted to start a movement against this site because he has a problem with what they do. Though, like I said, it's a forum. You can elect to go there. You could be famous. You could go your whole life without ever knowing anything that goes on there. Uh, Unfortunately, the same can't be said about Twitter because you could be hosting a website, not even have a Twitter account, and then some, like 12 people get mad and complain about you on Twitter to Cloudflare's Twitter account, and then boom, the next day they take down your website, no warning, nothing.
Ain't that some shit?
So yeah, that's just been the latest escalation in internet censorship, and it's pretty much gotten to the point where there's pretty much no more free speech on the internet. I mean, there's 4chan, but they have their mods, and their mods can basically do whatever the fuck they want. Um, they can
Walking
bend
on
the rules
eggshells.
and yeah. So really, there's nowhere where you can speak freely, especially if you're big, I mean, we're recording this right now. We could post this on YouTube. We don't have much of a following as of this recording.
Oh,
So
y'all can
this
change
can,
that.
yeah. But, for now, this could go under the radar and, we could speak freely, but no one's listening. So there's no, there's no threat of, any kind of
No
consequence
repercussions.
at the moment. But let's say we get big and, a couple years down the line, someone tries to use this as fuel against us, then we could get, maybe the video deleted, or maybe the whole channel deleted. And that's just the way it is. Some trannies on Twitter somewhere can be mad about you, and you don't even have to be aware of them. You don't even have to be a Twitter user yourself. And these corporations will always bend the knee to these weirdos.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. You spend years, trying to make a name for yourself, be very successful, and people just hate on that type of success, and they just like people to be just like the rest of them, just upset and angry. Like some people just have that power trip to them, and it's like to me it feels like, oh, this person's getting more attention than say me that's transgender, quote unquote. I don't like that. Or if they don't really agree with my thought process or the way that things should be, then they don't deserve to have a platform, even though I didn't put in any effort to make my statement out there, but they did. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, in a way, they're essentially going out of their way to find hate, or what they would perceive as hate against them or their community or whatever. And
Mhm.
yeah, just like it's not even what you say or what you intend to say. They can absolutely just lie about what you said. They could lie about your intentions, and that's what I seem to see more often than not, is they're lying about your intentions. And they're saying like, oh, this person is hateful, they're trying to kill us all or whatever, this, that, and the other. They're threatening literal violence against us. Meanwhile, they're the ones who have nothing better to do than go out there and actively find people they don't like, and try to ruin their livings and whatnot.
I mean, yeah, all y'all guys can change this. Everyone can really just change this if you really wanted to. But the fact that people are just letting this slide just says a lot about people's character and the way that society's kind of heading towards. It's too much censorship, and that's it. Honestly, 20 years ago, this wasn't even a thing. Everyone was doing their own thing. People could actually take criticism. If someone didn't have something nice to say, people, at least I would argue, had the IQ enough to either challenge them with facts or just ignore them or troll them, but not to this extent where you really have the potential to ruin someone's livelihood or their income. That's kind of pushing the envelope per se. These are words. These are words. It's to each their own. And honestly, people should people shouldn't wear their emotions on their sleeves. And unfortunately, this is the generation where that just seems to be the most prevalent. And if this keeps going on, then honestly, I don't see a point in having any type of social media or going on any forums. Like it's it's this is not what I personally would have thought my life would turn out to be, or other people's lives to turn out to be. Like if there was a time machine, I would definitely take it and go back in time and really, really wean those people out.
Yeah, definitely try to get ahead of it and change things, because they're these people, these nobodies, these weirdos,
Mhm.
they're getting more and more power, and with power comes power trips.
Mhm.
And yeah, as censorship tightens, less people are going to be able to say anything that goes against the mainstream. And they're gonna try and find ways to, keep upping the consequences, for because they want everyone to fall in line or whatever. And it's really sad. and depressing.
It's like it's like a more egregious form of social credit, like in China type of thing. Or
Yeah,
that's
like
kind of how I see it. Is it's really that bad,
yeah.
or it's like on a similar plane, but not really, because
Honestly, I'd say we're getting very close. If not, we've already passed like how bad that is. Because at uh, I mean, I don't want to say at least because social credit is still pretty bad, but at least you have like a number to go by. You know where you stand.
right,
Not that I would want that in comparison to this because both are absolutely trash.
all right, all right.
But yeah, like at least you know where you stand. At like I don't know how it works over there. Maybe there's like a fucking app that you pull up on your phone. Your social credit score is 95. That is
Some
far too
odd shit.
low. You are not sucking the government's dick quite enough.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling how we let people in power get to this point, honestly.
Yeah. Whereas like
But
here, like you don't even have that frame of reference. It could just be one day you're fine, the next day you're not. Uh, you know, like as it is right now, we're not making money off of YouTube. But imagine if we were, if that was our living, and some mad tranny who like never heard of us, never cared about us before, just one day in their hate searching came upon us and just started reporting us to like YouTube and this, that, and the other person, and then boom, like our source of income was just gone.
not even like a due process or anything. It's just we're gonna take a random person or
Oh,
someone that established a platform, and also, I mean, the people that established the platform on YouTube and all these other sites, like they're making their apps relevant. We are basically the poster, not so much the poster child, but we're basically advocating people to continue to go onto y'all social media websites and forums,
yeah,
and
we're
you're
basically
willing.
the workers that are making the money for them, like all the ad revenue and stuff. You know, it's the creators that drive the views and the comments and the clicks and whatnot, and that's what gets people to go to your website. And the scary thing is they're not afraid to be like, no, we don't want your business. Like we can do without your money. I mean, I'd like to think it will get to a point where like they cut off so much of their income that they're like, oh wait, maybe we shouldn't pander to weirdos. But
Some people
yeah,
learn the hard way, so it's fine. People learn at different lengths at different times. You just hope that it's not too late, you know. But when one
although
app
some
fails,
people
another
don't
one
learn.
replaces. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, no, no. Some people don't learn. Some people don't
Yeah,
learn. But when people don't learn, another person will, and there will always be apps that will supersede the ones that refuse to change or refuse to listen. You know.
I hope so.
I mean, we can. What was the example of fucking Andrew Tate? One of the
Hmm.
most controversial talk guys,
Yeah,
on the planet right now, arguably.
yeah,
You know, he was canceled off of all social media websites. One on
yep.
Rumble had 120 million people live. Might I
Damn,
add
really?
you live? Yes,
I didn't
one
even know that.
120. No, no, did I say 120 million? My bad. 120,000 people. Sorry.
Alright.
Yeah, I got the numbers mixed up. I was mind blogged when I read the form. Yeah, it was like 120,000 people.
That's so
Rumble
crazy though
live,
for like a Rumble
bro.
stream.
Yeah, yeah. So I was taken back. Like, this guy just refuses to be canceled. You
Yeah,
know, like, and again, he made some points about how we not so much we, but the big heads like the CEO of Instagram and Facebook and all those other people, or the people behind the scenes that we don't really talk about. Um, they pretty much dictate who should be a role model and who shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like who
yeah,
really has more power than the other, and that needs to be addressed first off.
definitely.
You know, you ban this man. Yes, granted, his views are a bit extreme. Granted, he's not perfect in his ways, but there's some things that this man said people can benefit from compared to, these like celebrities as like Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B,
Oh yeah, great role models.
or yeah, those people. They what what has I may be stretching this a little bit, but what if you really think about it, who's been causing the most damage? And I mean damage, like affecting the overall morale of individuals, men and women alike. Andrew Tate or, Meg Thee Stallion or Cardi B.
One
Like
time Cardi B tweeted, "I should be president. I really do be having good ideas and shit."
good ideas and shit. Right, right.
Idea number one, have a wet ass pussy. Idea number two, twerk. Idea number three, have an even wetter pussy.
Like now, I know some people might be triggered by saying that's not all Cardi B talks about X, Y, and Z, but the point is that it left her mouth to begin with. You know what I'm saying? We're very impressionable people. First impressions are everything, and that's literally what I got from her. So anything different than that, I
And that's like
would,
her most popular song too. So like,
yeah, WAP,
yeah,
yeah, WAP. Oh, without a
yeah.
doubt. And Andrew Tate
So
comes on the
yeah,
board and try to say like, oh, men gotta you gotta be man, don't do any bullshit that, demeans who you're meant to be in a relationship. Like
don't be a
woman
simp.
has a role, the man has a role type of thing. But that's considered out of line, out of pocket, even though your parents and your grandparents beforehand were following that same process. So you're telling me that your parents and grandparents didn't know any better back then? They don't know what they were talking about?
If
They
you're
didn't.
not simping for women on OnlyFans and you're not paying all their bills and being a cuck, you're being a toxic male. Oh my
You
god.
might as well censor your parents and your grandparents. You might as well have that happen. And I know for the most of y'all aren't really gonna censor that because at the end of the day, they taught you. They understood what the assignment was. They understood what it meant to be a man. They understood how a relationship should work, how a marriage should work, all the other stuff. And the
I
fact
mean,
that back in the
there's the
day,
people
but
on like TikTok and Twitter who would hear that, what you just said, and just be like, okay, boomer, okay, boomer, okay, boomer.
yeah, no, yeah, yeah, they can say all that, but they just don't have a counter argument for that. They
Yeah,
really don't. Now, again, people that probably listen to this, if you want to put in your 2 cents or back it up with facts, by all means. I mean, the difference between I would say us and other people is that if we're wrong, we will listen to your argument and we will admit it. I have no problem admitting that because again, I don't know everything. Y'all don't know everything. But at the end of the day, we're supposed to learn together so that we can become better than our predecessors. And so far, we're doing the
worse.
exact opposite.
Yeah,
What society
there
that we're in right
there
now is an
can't be any
atrocity.
evidence to the to prove go the other way because we're as a society, I think we're just doing worse, like in terms of like being decent people.
We don't know how
Um,
to, yeah, like men are now becoming more feminine with their emotions. There's a time and place for that, but around the clock is not necessary.
yeah.
And if we were to use social media to dictate that, TikTok. I was on TikTok recently. Saw not recently, probably like a what? Actually, it was recently. It was like what, an hour ago, a couple hours ago. Yeah, I was going through my feed and I saw like these recommendations, and it talked about how women will, play games with men in terms of like trying to say like, oh, I'm here for you, I'm this for you, I'm that for you. You can let your guard down. Then the guy tells them exactly what it is, and then boy, before you know it, an argument arises or some blip up happens, and then it's just like, oh, she has no ammo over this guy. She's not really there to help him out. It's
Yep.
more like to break him down because he doesn't agree with her opinion. Sort of like how
Or
these companies
yeah,
that are like Instagram and TikTok, if you don't agree with them, you get taken down. It's no different.
yep. Or the
Like
guy does the same thing, like you said, he opens up and then the woman is just like, "Oh, you're kind of a bitch." Like, they don't respect you, like, or they lose respect for you because, they might say, they want the sensitive, emotional guy. But as soon as they get that, they're like, "Oh, you're kind of a you're not. I'm looking for a Chad. I'm gonna go cheat on you with Chad
yeah,
Tyrone down the
they're
street."
gonna cheat with literally, yes, yes. It's like they're gonna cheat you with Andrew Tate, basically.
Yeah.
Like that's what some people don't understand. Not everyone, but some people don't understand that. You're gonna cheat on that guy with the Andrew Tate because
Mhm.
that at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want that masculine person to challenge you, that actually
Yep.
understands what it means to be a man and knows how to protect you, make money, and do what he's primarily meant to do on this
It's in our
planet.
biology. You can't. I mean, you could try to escape it, but and women will definitely say, things should be different. But at the end of the day, they're still going after the same types.
You can't fight it. You really can't fight it. I mean, you can suppress it and postpone it, but at the end of the day, you're really fighting yourself on a subconscious level, and
Yep.
that's not really helping anyone. But it's fine. It's
Yeah.
either we're going to be censored on the internet or we're going to be censored in real life by a woman,
Or both.
It's- or both. Worst case, both.
Yeah.
Like you're not really giving society a chance to actually raise men to be men or boys to be men.
They're actively
Like
doing the opposite. They don't like, if you say boys will be boys, they're like, no, that's toxic. That's wrong. And things need to change. Blah, 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 blah,
mhm,
blah.
exactly. But women don't have to change. They
Oh, no,
really
they're
don't.
doing perfect. Yes, Queen Slay. They're doing perfect. She's doing her best. Oh my God.
They don't.
She
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
work.
they don't have to.
She doesn't need anything else.
Well, it's getting to that point. Women are starting to believe that they don't they can honestly say that all they want. But I know for a fact that not even a fact, but I have a feeling that when you go to bed at night alone by yourself because you a boss ass bitch and you have no one else to really, be there with you and like, have that type of intimacy. I mean, you're gonna second guess yourself. Like, was me putting on this facade or me believing in this false prophecy of women being the men basically, and men just being a hindrance to you being that boss lady. Like,
Yep.
it's not it's not gonna add up. Again,
Or
biologically, you're
at the very least, once they hit 40 or whatever, and the looks are all gone, and then the OnlyFans money runs out, they're gonna they're gonna get reflective on their
again,
choices.
yeah. hmm hmm And do you think most women on OnlyFans are investing that money? No,
Nope.
they're not. They're not thinking like a man would per se, logically. Now, I'm not saying all women are dumb or anything of that nature. Don't twist my words like that. All I'm saying is that biologically speaking, you tend to lean more on emotions, so your logic is gonna be more emotional than say a man is. So like if a man's on OnlyFans, they're gonna understand that hey, I'm not gonna be able to be on this platform long. I want to have long lasting or generational wealth. Sort of what Andrew Tate was talking about. You kind of want to have generational wealth. Everyone does. If you have a family later on in life, you want to be that person like, dang, I invested when I was young enough. I didn't just spend all willy nilly because I'm just
Yeah.
that boss N word. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine if dudes actually had the same mindset as a woman on OnlyFans. Let's
Ain't
just
nobody would be
personally think
saving
about
their
it.
money. No one would be buying houses. You wouldn't even be able to afford apartments.
Exactly. Society in itself would just cave in. Someone has to take the bullet and lead the next generation. And last time I checked, that role was assigned to us, men, us guys, not women. No one, no parents just popped out a woman out the womb and say, "Hey, you're gonna have to lead society." No, 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 no. That was instilled, and I would argue more men more than women that men lead. You have to be
Yeah.
a man. You gotta make tough decisions. You cannot let your emotions get the best of you. You can't.
And women used to expect that from men too, but now they want to make the money, and they want to have the status and the fame and this and that. But when it comes time to settle down or choose a partner, if that's even on their mind at all, they want someone who makes at least as much as them. So they've been spending all this time grinding, trying to get to a high level, and then they're like, well, I only want a guy who's on this level, and that guy isn't looking for a fucking OnlyFans whore.
Bingo. Or if they do, it's just for a floozy. You just a floozy to them.
Yeah.
a harlot, whatever you want to call. Like
Because a guy isn't gonna see that and expect commitment. Like, you don't. No
he already
guy
knows
goes
what he
on.
is.
No successful guy, anyways, goes. Sees an OnlyFans chick who's been doing that since she's like 18 or whatever, and being like, ah, yes, that is. I want her to raise my kids.
Wifey material. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. But again, people learn at different speeds at different times, and that's totally. I honestly, I can't even fight people nowadays and say like that's wrong, because at the end of the day, they're gonna think the way they want to think.
Yep.
But hearing them, no, not even. How can I word this? They're gonna think what they want to think. They're gonna do what they want to do. But
And part of
I'm
it
not
is
gonna stand here.
they don't
Okay,
have the teachers. So like, if you don't have anyone instilling like good shit in you when you're young, you're gonna be even less likely to listen to that kind of advice when you're older. And that's
okay,
where we're
that
at now.
no, yes, yes. That's always been a common occurrence. But again, with the modern age of internet and actually good role models, that's less of an excuse. I would
You,
argue.
you you cut out for a bit there. I didn't hear anything.
I said with the with technology nowadays, finding people on the internet or good role models is I don't think that's more they can use as an argument per se.
Oh no, it's definitely easy out there, to find good role models. The problem is they're not looking for it. They don't want to look for it. And
Exactly. That's what
and
it
if
is.
it happens to come to them when they're at this point in their life, since they didn't have it before, they're less likely to listen to it. And, when they hear that thing, this goes back to what we're saying about the censorship, because when they hear that, they're going to be offended. They're going to get mad. They're going to be like, how dare you challenge my beliefs, whatever. You need to be silenced. You need to, yeah, I'm going to, get you fired from your job, whatever.
You refuse to evolve, and that's the issue. That's literally an issue in itself. You expect men to evolve and change, but men can't expect women to do the same. You're just this perfect being on this planet, and last time I
Yes,
checked, no one's
queen.
perfect. You
Yes,
know,
queen.
you're not perfect. I don't know who's been telling you that you're perfect. You can say you're a bad bitch. All
You're
right, that's all
literally
kudos.
perfect. You're the baddest bitch. You're the boss girl. You can do bad all by yourself, girl. Mm.
Like some women actually behave that way. Now that's the way that he says it. That's not saying that like, every girl thinks that way. It's just the numbers, the number of women that do behave that way, and they know who they are. They know who they are. You know who you are. You know that those are the ones that we're addressing.
Yep.
And the social media and the TV and all those big platforms. That's what they want. Again, it's like I know I'm probably gonna get a bad rap about this, but let's say cops for example. It's like that one bad cop is being broadcasted to all the good cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, say
Yep.
there's 10 good cops and there's one bad cop. You just think because that one bad cop did something that all the cops are bad. That's kind of what it
Yep.
is. But to make it more relevant or make more sense, it's like the social media platforms are targeting these individual women that have the mindset of what they want
Yeah.
society to have,
And they're
and then they're
boosting the
giving
shit
them a
out of them.
platform. Yeah, that's
Yep.
what it is. They're pushing that forward, and it's brainwashing anyone else that doesn't know any better.
Yep. Like
So that's
that fucking cash me outside girl, you know?
yes,
She
yes.
she could have gone her whole life being a fucking nobody, but because of Dr. Phil, that one Dr. Phil episode, fucking entertainment industry was like, all right, we got the perfect specimen here. We won't let this opportunity go to waste.
and this is when she was I think a minor before she was 18, because then she ended up making OnlyFans, and then she made her first million in like what 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah,
And then that just made it even better for them, because now it's just like, dang, these women,
it's very
uh,
depressing.
yeah, is you got all these women that don't have a life like her looking up to her now. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
get it inside their psyche and their mindset, like, damn, this girl really living on easy mode. She's doing this, that, and the third, and she's getting recognized. She's having a platform. She's on music videos. She's doing all this other stuff. She's making bank. She can have any guy she wants, type of shit. That could be me too if I just behave that way. And that is the biggest lie I have seen to date.
Yeah.
You don't believe everything that you see on TV. You got to read between the lines. You got to see the message that they're trying to cover up. All right. You got to think for
And even
yourself.
if it
Break.
was like that easy for every single one of her fans to emulate and live the exact same life as her, it's like, yeah, but do you like why do you want that though? Like that's such a like vain existence.
She's going to know 20 years down the road that her life decisions are going to catch up to her.
Yeah.
And
And
her,
that's the
and
problem. Like all of them, all the girls like her, they learn when it's too late.
Mhm. Like, what's your body count? Oh, no one wants to talk about that though.
Hmm.
But what does the man make though? No, that's perfectly acceptable though. You know, I we can't win. We as men can't win. We as boys transitioning to men can't win.
And yet they still complain about patriarchy, this, that, and the other, but they're getting all these, um, they're being diversity hired. There's all these inclusion programs. If they have a good body, if they have even if they have just like an okay body, OnlyFans is, it's right there and it's easy for them. It's the literal embodiment of easy mode.
Yes, yes, it is. And God forbid someone says anything outside the realm of what's deemed not appropriate, but deemed bot worthy. I use bot worthy in terms of like drone behavior, like, oh, it
Yeah,
goes with the
drone.
consensus of, yeah, LTG reference
Mhm.
right there. Uh, but yeah, anything like isn't drone reference is immediately castrated from society or castrated from the body that is this individual that's on the platform.
Yep.
So, um,
Man, these drones are much at.
indie drones, right? Yep, mods, you know what to do.
Really, nope.
Insane,
Yeah.
insane.